Welcome back to the series. If you have been following along, you already know we are working through the Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Core and Extended Coursebook by Karen Morrison and Nick Hamshaw. This is the second edition. We wrapped up chapter 1 just recently, and now we are moving straight into chapter 2. This is where algebra really starts to kick in. Chapter 2 is, the title is Making Sense of Algebra. We'll be simplifying, evaluating expressions, translating words into math, and getting comfortable with substitution. If you're new, don't worry, this book is designed for both core and extended students. So we'll be covering everything clear and step by step. So taking a start with the very first exercise, which is about writing algebraic expressions. So to begin with, we will first try to understand what is meant by algebraic expression. Algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that can contain numbers, variables. Numbers can be any positive or negative numbers. For example, in here we are having 3, we are having 2, we are having 7, we are having 4, minus 4. Variables, for example, we have x in here, as you can see, we have a, b. These are the variables, these are the letters that stands for an unknown values. Then we are having the operations, which are like addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication. They can be. Since it's algebraic expression, therefore they do not contain any equality sign. Other than that, certain things to be familiar with when we talk about the algebraic expression is that letters such as x, y, a, b, m, they are utilized and they are called variables. Multiplication sign is usually omitted. For example, we normally write a multiplied by b. So in algebraic expression, we write it in this form. This already indicates that multiplication is between these two variables taking place. So we omit the multiplication sign. When same variables are multiplied by itself, we use exponents and powers. So y multiplied by y is equal to y square. So this raised to the power, y is raised to the power of 2. So overall, when we talk about writing an algebraic expression, we write the coefficient first, which is the number next to the very first is the number that we write, which is called as the coefficient. Variable is written next to the number, just as you can see in here. This 3 is coefficient and x is the variable. And then we arrange variables in alphabetical order. We do not write in here, as you can see, it is 4ab. We do not write ab4 or ba4. So first it is the number or the coefficient is written first, then the variable, and if it's more than one variable, so we write it in alphabetical order. It's not 4ba but 4ab. So let's dive into the first question of the exercise, which asks us to rewrite each expression in its simplest form. So simplifying, as I mentioned earlier, we will be simplifying, and simplifying an expression means to rewrite it in its cleanest and most compact form possible without changing its value. So we do this by multiplying numbers together, combining repeated variables, using exponents, removing unnecessary multiplication signs, combining like terms, and operations like that. However, one thing you have to keep in mind that simplifying does not mean solving. We are not finding a value for x. We are just making the expression look tidier and easier to work with. So taking a start with the very first part of the question, it is 6 multiplied by x multiplied by y. So as an algebraic expression, we can write it as 6xy. Again, the value is the same, it's just that we have written it in algebraic form. 7 multiplied by a multiplied by b, so it will become 7ab. In here, as you can see, we have removed the multiplication sign, and it is in alphabetical order, already arranged. So we write it as it is, just removing the multiplication sign. X, Y, Z, so x multiplied by y multiplied by z, the expression would become x, y, z. The multiplication sign is being removed, but in algebraic expression, this does mean that there is multiplication taking place between these variables. If they had a value in particular, we would be able to express it, which would be something we'll be doing in our upcoming questions. 2 multiplied by y multiplied by y, so again in here y is multiplied with itself, so it would become y square, and 2 is the coefficient, so it will become 2y square. A multiplied by 4 multiplied by b, so removing multiplication sign and writing it in ascending order. First the question, alphabetical order, I must say. First it is the coefficient we will write, and then a, and then it would be b, so it will become 4ab. X multiplied by y multiplied by 12, so 12 being the coefficient, it will be written first, and then x multiplied by y, the multiplication signs will be removed, then it will become 12xy. 5 multiplied by b multiplied by a, so coefficient first, and the order will be alphabetically arranged. It would be 5ab. So next one we are having y multiplied by z multiplied by z, so z is multiplied with itself, therefore we will write it as z square, and y is multiplied with z, so it will, removing the multiplication sign, it will become yz square. Then we are having division, so 6 divided by x, we can write it as 6 over x in the fraction form. 4x divided by 2y, again 4x over 2y in the fraction form. We can further simplify it, as is asked of us as well, to write it in the simplest form possible. So if we simplify it further, 2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 2, and 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4, so it will become 2x over y. Next we have x plus 3 divided by 4, so in the fraction form we can write it as x plus 3 over 4. M multiplied by m multiplied by m. M is multiplied with itself 2 times, so we will write it in the exponent form, m cube, and then division sign, m multiplied by m, so m is multiplied with itself once in the denominator, so the top is the numerator, which has the power of 3, and in the denominator m has the power of 2. If we simplify it further, so this 2 power gets cancelled with this, and we are left with m raised to the power of 1. Next we have 4 multiplied by x plus 5 multiplied by y, so it will become 4x plus 5y. Sorry, it is the addition sign. I have taken it for division, so it would be 4x plus 5y. Next we have a multiplied by 7 minus 2 multiplied by b, so it would become 7a minus 2b. Again, you can see that we have removed the multiplication sign, and we have written the coefficient first and then the alphabet. So then the O part, 2 multiplied by x multiplied by, in the brackets we have x minus 4, so removing the multiplication sign, it will become 2x into x minus 4. 3 multiplied by x plus 1 in the bracket divided by 2 multiplied by x. Removing the multiplication sign, we get 3 into x plus 1 over 2x. Second last part in here is 2 multiplied by x plus 4 in the bracket divided by 3. So we write it as 2 into x plus 4 over 3. And the last part is 4 multiplied by x divided by 2 multiplied by x plus 4 multiplied by x. So it will become, when removing the multiplication sign, it will become 4x over 2x plus 4x. So 2x plus 4x is equal to 6x. If we further simplify it, it will become 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4, and 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6. So x also gets cancelled with this x, and we get 2 over 3. That's all for this question. Happy learning!